journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, hey everybody, it's Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove Intertalk Radio. It is a beautiful Wednesday, July the 20th. It's a warm day here in Southern California. It's a warm day here out in the wineries where our studios are here. And I'm proud and I'm privileged to enter and introduce I want to say a longtime friend that we really haven't had a chance to sit down and talk, but we have a lot in common with the band that he is currently touring the world with. Hey everybody, those ivories that were being tickled right now were none other from the fingers, the magical fingers of a funky keyboardist, a B3 master, an organist, if you will. So I want everybody to welcome with open arms and open ears to Jackie's Groove, my brother, the funky funk master, Mr. Roger Smith. Roger, how are you, brother? Welcome to Jackie's Groove.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be with you, Jackie. Hello, everybody.
Hey, man, you know what? It's a good time, brother. And we always get a chance just to walk into a backstage area, say hey, give a handshake and a hug, but we don't get a chance to talk that much. So what we're going to do is we're going to make up for that today. We're going to take your amazing career, 30-plus years, 40 years of your career, and we're going to try to shove it into 2 hours, and we're going to do our damnedest. And we're going to introduce the listeners out there that aren't familiar with Roger Smith. And if you're not familiar with Roger, you got to crawl out from under that rock you've been living under. And we're also going to be talking about not only has this man funked up the stages with the luminaries in the industry, and since 1998 with my brothers of Tower of Power, he has also been funking up the wineries, the wines, the grapes on the vine in Northern California. You want to talk more about that in his new venture called Bump City Wine. So with that said, Roger, how are you, my brother? How are you doing on this beautiful Wednesday?
I'm blessed, man, and it's a beautiful day. I'm in Sacramento now.
Very cool.
And that's the home of our new tasting room, which we'll get into. But it's gorgeous here. Just finished packing my bag as we're taking off at the crack of dawn to Detroit in the morning to start our East Coast run.
I appreciate you spending time with us, man.
Yeah, it's great to be here, man. Thank you for calling.
Hey, man, you know what? I got to tell you, I'm a fan. I'm a fanboy of Tower Power. I had my first experience with those boys and my mentor, Emilio Castillo, your partner in crime. December 17, 1979 at the Golden Bear in Huntington Beach was my first time at the age of 19 when I walked on stage with the band as virtually almost an original band at that time. And I got to tell you, man, it keeps getting better and better and better. And I got to tell the listeners out there, to me, right now, my personal opinion, an opinion shared by, the masses, this conglomeration, this ensemble of musicians in the current lineup Tower Power is amazing. Roger, you filled in some big shoes, man, when you walked in to Tower Power in 1998. I mean, for those who don't are familiar with my dear friend Chester Thompson, who left Tower Power in the early years to make his pilgrimage over to Santana. How was that feeling, man? And share with the listeners, Roger, where were you the day that Tower Power, the gig, came to you?
Well, it's amazing. When Chester left, well, let me back up a little bit, Jackie,
Please.
If you don't mind.
Absolutely.
I met the guys. I was with Gladys Knight for a while. And by the way, we get a chance to play with her August 3rd at the Hollywood Bowl. It's been 30-plus years since I've seen that woman. I'm shaking. I mean, that was one of my premier gigs. Anyway, on to the story. I would see Tower quite a bit. back in the day, and I got to meet Chester back in the day when the band was clicking on all 10 cylinders, man. And actually 11 with Brent.
Exactly.
And, I met Chester because I'd never heard, first of all, when I first saw Tower, it was without Chester. It was with Willie Fulton and Rufus. That was when I first saw them. And
really?
I'd never seen a band like that.
That was after Nick Milo. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was prior to Chester, prior to Nick. There was no keyboard player.
Really?
Yeah, I saw them back then. That was on Broadway and somewhere else. Just before they had gotten just before Bruce got in the band.
Cool.
And that was the first time I saw them. Second time I saw them, Bruce Conti was in the band, and they had Rick Stevens had come on, and Rufus had left. And they had come up here to Sacramento to play this place called the Warehouse, which is no longer. And I was just thoroughly floored. Shortly thereafter, they had acquired Chester and Brent Briers.
Yes, on percussion.
I'd never, I'd been playing B3 for a while, but I'd never heard B3 integrated into a rhythm section like this. I'd heard funky B3, but not like that. And not utilized. I never heard a B3 player utilized in a band like Chester was being utilized. It was life altering. It was career altering, because me and I dare say a lot of my contemporaries who play B3 went straight to the shed to try to figure out what the heck who is this guy? And now I have to learn his chops. You got Jimmy, you got Dr. Lonnie, and you got Jim McGriff, Jack McDuff, and all of them. But, okay, now you got this guy, and we have to learn this contemporary style. It was daunting, man. And Chester was a monster, and we all tried to emulate him. Fast forward. When Chester left Santana, I think the first keyboard player to take his place, if I'm not mistaken, was David K. Matthews, who's now with Santana.
Santana, exactly.
And then it was Ellis Hall in and out, and then I think then it was Nick Milo for a good stretch, and I came in after Nick.
How did that gig come to you, man? Who referred you, other than your talents? How did you get to Tower of Power?
Well, my good friend Norbert Stachel, who was on some of the matter of fact, some of the tunes. He's on one of my tunes, or two or three other tunes. One in particular is called Miss Wiggles.
Great.
This was prior to him being in Tower as well.
Right.
Norbert called me out of the blue. I had a house gig up in Lake Tahoe, not one of the casinos. A good friend of mine had a little place called the Christiana Lodge, and I called my Soul Train buddies. We were the house band for Soul Train. Guna G-Son on drums, Warner Bear Schuchner, God rest his soul, rest in peace, and John Skinner. And so we went in as a quartet. I kicked bass and played keys. And we were just doing a house gig every weekend, man. It was great, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I get a call from Norbert Stachel asking me, hey, man, would you be interested in a Tower gig? And I said,
Hello?
well, sure, and so they came to see me at my house gig, unannounced. Dave Garibaldi, at the time, Jeff Tamalier on guitar, and Emilio Castillo. And that's how it began.
Was it a skin-pinching moment, man, when you finally stepped onto the stage for the very first time? Where were you? Where was the gig? Were you in the U.S.? Were you abroad when you hit with the boys itself? I mean, let's get past the rehearsals. When you actually walked on stage, and I also want to step back for a second, with people who are familiar with Chester Thompson on keys, and again, I wanted to ask you the question because I really haven't paid attention because I'm just so into your playing. Did you introduce bass pedals like Chester had?
I did for a while, but I'm this type of person. Chester set up a footprint,
right?
And you try to follow that footprint. It's just like doing one of Jimmy Smith's tunes. He set the footprint, and you try to follow it. Jack McDuff, Jimmy McGriff, all the organ greats, the piano greats. After a while, like you practice it, you learn it, and it's. So I decided to give my own spin to it. After a while, you can't speak anymore on Squib Cakes or Walking Up Hip Street or Ebony Jam. as much as I love them, I love these tunes, man, and I love playing them, but it had gotten to the point to where, okay, all right, Chester said it first, and he said it best. All right, I'm kind of following suit. Now it's getting a little ho-hum. Right. Not that the song is boring. It's not necessarily my execution that was boring. It was the fact that, okay, it's time to either change up, let's move on and get another tune. So we kind of, every once in a while, we'll throw those tunes or one of them back into the set list. But now it's kind of, it's been said, it's been done. What's next?
I dig. And Roger, I'm going to share with you real quick. We're doing a 2-hour interview, and it's going to blow by at rocket ship speed here. It always has. And it's we're going to touch on everything we can with Roger Smith. Roger, if I interrupt you at all, it's because that clock is ticking away in front of me. So I don't want to be rude to you. So if I say, hey, we're rolling out, We're going to pick up where we left off. And I do want to pick up on segment number 2. I do want to find out more exactly where you were. What were you feeling when you actually sat your booty down on that bench and laid those funky sounds down? And do you have a Leslie standing behind you? Is that horn swinging around? Kind of give the listeners out there that want to get that vibe going exactly what you're doing, what you're feeling, and what you felt when you walked on stage with Tower Power for the very first time, and how it is to this day. So with that said, my brother, we're going to step out of segment number 1 into segment number 2. Everybody, this is Jackie Bertoni, tuned into Jackie's Groove Intertalk Radio with the legendary keyboardist organist, Mr. Roger Smith from Tower Power. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
And that funky song is called Comes With a Deal from my in-studio guest today on Jackie's Groove. Hey, everybody, this is Jackie Bertoni, and I'm chopping it up with Mr. Roger Smith from Tower of Power. Before I get back into Roger, I want to say thank you and welcome to all of our sponsors who keep this crazy ship afloat. I want to start off by saying hi to my dear friends at Optimal Body Personal Fitness, David and Kendra and Darren and my Maria. Guys, thank you. You can reach them at optimalbodypf.com. Our dear friends, the big boys over at Pitbull Audio, Calvin Lee and the Motley Crew, who started this crazy business by advertising on Amazon and eBay, and they built it into a multi-million-dollar business, and it's good to be part of that family. You can reach them at pitbullaudio.com. Again, pitbullaudio.com, where they just want you to play it loud. Someone I'm sure Roger's very familiar with, along with myself, Studio Instrument Rentals, for everything that you need for backline and for rehearsal studios. You can reach them at sir-usa.com. And three of my favorites, again, two I'm a little bit biased, in my drumstick company for almost 20 years, Vater Percussion. That's VATER.com. Visit them, please. And two of our newest big sponsors here, Drum Workshop at dwdrums.com. And that's Mr. John Good, Mr. Don Lombardi, and Derek Zimmerman, brand manager for LP Music, who I've been with going on 27 years. Yes, my friends, I am old. You can visit them at lpmusic.com. And, with that said, I've been blessed, man. I interviewed a couple weeks ago Mr. David Garibaldi, a friend of mine for 38 years. Prior to that, I brought on former horn arranger, Mr. Greg Adams. And today, I'm honored to bring and talk to Mr. Roger Smith. So, Roger, with that said, let's get back to business, brother. Welcome back, my friend.
Oh, thank you very much.
So when we stepped out of segment number 1 and 2, we were talking about the time that you walked in to your first live gig with Tower Power, past the rehearsals and everything else. Share with the listeners what it felt like to walk in your shoes from the day you walked on the stage. Do you remember what that gig was for the first time you played live?
If I'm first of all, there were no rehearsals.
Really?
I literally, the only rehearsal I had, Jackie, was with Emilio on the phone. And we went over vocal parts. So I got all the lyrics of the songs that I had to sing vocals to, and I wrote down my notes on those lyrics, and I joined them live on stage. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Philadelphia, somewhere back east. And that's the way it went.
Were your parts charted?
Pardon me?
Were your parts charted, or did you know the music inside and out?
No, I had played Tower forever. Like I said,
there you go.
Like when Chester stepped on board, anybody who played organ started learning Tower songs. Now, I had already been playing several Tower tunes in my top 40 band as well as the one the house band. So I basically knew the tunes. We did sound check and stuff, and I learned how to play with Dave and Rocco over time. But the tunes I pretty much knew.
That's crazy. And and Roger, I know, but let's share with the listeners out there. You're a church boy. You're an organist from the church. You want to share with that and your upbringings from there?
Yeah, my upbringing. My mother was a Bible worker, and I began playing self-taught. I took lessons. I think when I was in 6th grade. Cool. Maybe 2 years. I got as far as John Thompson's 2nd grade reader. So that should give you an indication for all you folks who don't know. That's a very elemental book. It's like grade, fourth grade in elementary school, like the beginning reading thing. That's about as far as I got.
What drew you to the keys? What drew you there? What was it? The size of the organ? Was it a keyboard itself? Or was keyboard your first choice of instrument?
Actually, it was saxophone. I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was pretty cool. I was 11 years old. Believe it or not, my neighbor was the brother of Jimmy McGriff. And cool. Jimmy would play here in Sacramento. At that time, there were several jazz clubs here in town. Jimmy would come in to play, and my friend's dad had what I later found out to be a C3 in his house. I thought that organ was just a church organ. I called it a church organ. I didn't know a C3 from a B3 to a whatever. Anyway, Jimmy would practice there, and I was in awe. I never heard a church organ sound like that. You know, it raised the hairs on my arm, man. I never heard anything like that. He taught me my first two songs, Down the Road a Piece and Little Red Rooster.
Craziness, man. And
that's how it started. I was 11 years old, 11. Just going into the 6th grade.
Hey, brother, are we a married man?
Yes, I am. 34 years.
And do we how many years?
34.
I'm going on 33, brother. See, it does work when you find the right lady that puts right lady that puts up with our bullshit. It works. Trust me when I tell you. I'm speaking for myself. And do the Smith have any offspring? Any babies you want to talk about?
No babies. I lost my son almost 20 years ago, but I have a 25-year-old granddaughter.
You know what though? And Grandpa is raising her the right way. Does she get what Grandpa does?
Oh yeah, she gets it. She's totally in tune.
Any other musicians? Any other musicians in the family, Roger?
No, my sister took piano lessons for a little bit, but that's not her vocation. My wife, she plays a little piano. She took piano, but that's not her vocation. Every once in a while, blue moons, she'll touch one of my keyboards. That's about it.
Hey, and Roger, let me ask you this question. For everybody that you've inspired through your career and so on, if someone sat down with you and said, I'm sitting down with you right now, so imagine this question. Who inspired Roger Smith?
Wow. I would think I would think it would be Jimmy McGriff.
Okay.
That would really be, to be a player, to want to aspire to be a quote unquote musician, a working musician, would be Jimmy McGriff.
Now, is it because the way he wrote, or is it the way he approached a song that attracted you to him? And how much of him is in your playing daily?
I can't say it's a lot. I think the feeling is still there from that time. I was 11 years old, and the feeling that I had listening to them play the blues.
Right.
In the back porch, the covered back porch of my neighbor's house. I think that feeling is what is still burning inside me, man. That's a passion that I've never lost over all these years.
It's amazing because, when you think back, like you said again, to, you were playing in house bands that were playing with Tower Power. I had one of the top bands in Los Angeles called Nice and Easy with my good friend of mine, Mike Jimenez, who went on to with the big group Tierra, the boys down here in Southern California. Uh-huh. And we had our first opening gig for Tower Power. In fact, Mimi and I, Emilio Castillo, the founder of Tower Power, going on, by the way, in another year and a half, 50 years. How old are we, man? And Mimi and I and Roger, we were all talking at Thornton Winery last year, if you remember that, Roger, after the gig. And Mimi and I kind of sat in the corner. We talked about our dear retarded friend, Raul Rico, who we lost way too early from Santana percussionist. Yeah. And then we talked about just, influences. And Mimi said, what was the club in Los Angeles that we first met when your band opened up for us? I said, the International Club. He goes, damn it, Jackie, I've been thinking about that for so long. And here's a big club that probably held about 3,000 people. We were beside ourselves to be a local group that even though we were the top of our game, but we're open up for TOP. Now, come on. But see, at that time, God rest Doug Schoen, the tour manager and road manager at the time, he walked up to us and said, gentlemen, I understand that you guys cover some Tower tunes. And we said, yeah, we do. We cover Can't Stand to See the Slaughter. We covered You Ought to Be Having Fun. And we also do Can't You See? And he goes, good. Well, you're not going to be doing that tonight. And I remember Mike Jimenez freaked out because that was part of our segment. And I said, "What are you freaking out about, man? This is their song. Why would we even have that into our mix?" And we sat there on the sidelines. And then it wasn't too long after that when Mimi and I became friends, when he was living up in Berkeley, and he and I had this phone conversation. We talked once a week and so on. And I remember the first time Emilio said, "Hey, man, you ever want to come down and sit in with the band?" Well, what was the next stupid question? Yes, I did. And I remember walking on that stage, and at that time we had Lenny Pickett on sax. You had Rocco on, I guess, bass. You had Bruce Conte. You had Garibaldi. You had Mick Gillette, God rest his soul, another brother that's gone too soon. Greg Adams, Funky Doctor, Mimi, and this guy named Jackie Bertoni that sat right next to Greg Adams. And I started by playing "Can't You See" with that syncopated right. And I looked back, and Garibaldi looked at me and he smiled. And then remember Mimi said to me, "If you can't cut, can't you see? Don't hang for squib cakes." And the rest is history, as they say. Roger, look, it's blowing out, man. We're going out of 2 into 3. We're going to talk about your other bands that you work with that you've added that funky sound to. We're going to educate the listeners out there, so you guys don't go anywhere. We're going to be back here with Roger Smith, the keyboard extraordinaire with Tower of Power, and we're going to talk about his time and his tenure with Gladys Knight, Jeff Beck, Club Nouveau. How's that for an old sound, Roger? And also, too, I want to find out about Willie Nelson. Where did that dichotomy come from? So when we get back on segment number 3 on Jackie's Groove, we're going to be back with my in-studio guest, legendary keyboardist, organist, Mr. Roger Smith from Tower Power. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
If only, guys, thank you for coming back and listening to this amazing interview. This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove, brought to you by the Intertalk Radio Network. Guys, we're definitely your music insider, and we're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Our ratings have gone through the roof, and they're going through the roof because of the guests like I have on my show today. The guest would be called Mr. Roger Smith from the Funky Funksters, the Bay Area Boys, my favorite group called the Tower of Power. Welcome back, Mr. Roger Smith.
Hey.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm going back and forth. I'm looking at some things here, and I think it's kind of cool. But I gotta touch on this because I got a couple questions from emails from people. Wanted to know, what did you do with Willie Nelson? Where, when, and how, and why?
Well, I'm from Texas, and I started my musical career at the defunct Armadillo World Headquarters with the late and great Freddie King. That's when I first met Willie Nelson, when I first met, Waylon Jennings,
right?
Johnny Edgar Winter, ZZ Top back in the day, all those fabulous bands, man. And Willie would have a 4th of July picnic party all the time at his place. And we'd hang out with him, play, and just goof around. Thus, my gig with Waylon Jennings, which led to Michael Martin Murphy's record and several other country western things. That's truncating it a bit, but it was just association,
Yeah.
Placement by association or association by placement.
He's
in the right
a great
place, right time.
Absolutely, he's a great guy. I had the pleasure of recording Willie myself on a Beach Boy album, and Willie covered the tune "The Warmth of the Sun," which he did an amazing job. And just a really cool brother, man. We had a good time. It was a high adventure, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
And he's a great brother all the way around, man. And and as I said, we got these great people that are living. That is the question. Is all the craziness that that they've partied with, and they're still here. And then we talk about the brothers that that left us way too early. And we have a mutual, I should say, a correlation here. You work with Jeff Beck, and I just had on Jeff Beck's bass player, Rhonda Smith, about 3-4 weeks ago, and it was amazing, some of the great anecdotes we heard about Prince and so on. How was it working with Jeff? Did you play live with Jeff, or did you record with Jeff?
Now, that's a whole other issue, man. It's just live, off and on, mostly like a rehearsal band.
Right.
Long and short of it is, I was, again, right place, right time, found myself in Sussex. I may have that wrong.
Okay.
But, just kind of jamming and rehearsing with the likes of Ron Wood, Jeff, Ainsley Dunbar, several other drummers.
Wow.
At this estate. That's the long and short of it, man. And you're talking about a highlight. Fast forward, I was with Harvey Mandel, the blues guitarist.
Yeah.
And we did the Blow by Blow tour with Jeff Beck through Canada.
Crazy.
We opened for Jeff. It was awesome.
Definitely have that's something nice to have on the resume. And talking about your beginnings back in Austin, Texas, you still talking to your friends, your brothers of Blind Melon?
Well, no. You mean, the band? Oh, absolutely. Tomas, Keith Newberry, Kyle, and Jay Podolnik, Eric Johnson in particular. I talk to him all the time. I just saw him not too long ago. We're all in, we're all in the same boat, man. We stay in touch. Good brothers, players, just amazing guys.
Okay, and I'm sitting here and I'm bouncing, but I want to go back to what we originally talked about, or we talked about earlier. When Roger Smith walked on to the stage with Tower of Power, we didn't talk about, you said it was possibly Philly, if you do remember, if memory serves you correctly, but tell me what your feelings were. I mean, did you have the quintessential butterflies? Was there any adulation, or was it just absolutely pure joy? Because for those who haven't seen Tower of Power live and seen Roger with Tower of Power, the man has got a smile that's infectious. It's ear to ear. And I see the new configuration where they've got you and Jerry together. I know I saw you on a couple occasions where they had you on the other side of behind the horns. How is that? Go ahead.
Well, it's interesting. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
Forgive me for that. We decided just, because when you have two chordal instruments going on like that, first of all, it's good to separate them for stereo effect. And we wanted to give it a try because sometimes we play in places and the volume was too loud on me and Jerry. Said, not saying Jerry and I played too loud.
Right.
But Jerry and I have fun together. We play well together. He's my brother. But we split it up so that it would give equal sound on either side chordally. And it works a lot better. And because I was so far away from David, I had to have him blasting in my monitors, which added to the stage volume. Not cool. So I decided to move to the other side. It wasn't a situation that the band decided. It was my decision. And it's comfortable. The band can really breathe now equally.
That's cool.
So it's nice. Yeah.
So you walk on stage with Tower, and you hear the overview. Ladies and gentlemen from Oakland, California, please welcome T.O.P. Now, when you were gigging that, who was fronting you? I think it was Larry at that time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it was Brent Carter.
Oh, Brent, my boy, who's killing it with Average White Band right now.
Yeah. Brent Carter was still in the band. The two other trumpet players. Norbert was still on saxophone. Jesse McGuire was still playing trumpet, and Bill Churchville was still playing trumpet.
That was That was definitely prior to Aldolfo and Iron Mike.
Yes.
I mean, forgive me for being a Tower of Power fanatic. You have to understand something. I am a guy that if you sit there and ask me the words to a certain song on any other artist, I couldn't tell you that to save my life. But let me just tell you, we were talking about that in dinner last night, my wife and I and some friends from Hawaii, my buddy Henry Capono. My wife said to him, Jackie can tell you every word for every song from Tower of Power, and I don't know what it is. It's just a matter of just, that great writing ability from the Funky Doctor to Mimi, to Greg, from David, and so on. And it's just something that's always been part of my soul, and it will always be part of my soul to the day I'm no longer around. So, and I'm forever thankful for Mimi for bringing that sound forward itself. And going back, so you're sitting behind the keyboards. I'm looking at my notes here. So the first note that struck, did you feel that you were at home right there? There was no other place for you?
Well, it's interesting. Can I back you up? And I won't.
Absolutely.
Okay. The band was holding auditions when they came to hear me.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, no problem. I thought we were going to go do it at the Bay Area. And later to find out that they moved it to L.A., and it would have to be a situation where I would have had to pay my way down there. Now, mind you, I'm not the big rock star. However, I've been on the big stage already. I've been out there for years at that time. And my credo, I never pay to play. So I wasn't about to fly myself. I love T.O.P., but my bank account and my family were more important at that time.
Of course.
So I told them, I said, okay, well, guys, look, I can't, see myself spending that kind of money on an if or a maybe.
Right.
If I get the gig or not get the gig. So I have to, respectfully bow out. I get a phone call from David asking me if he, this was maybe a week or two after, asking me if I wouldn't mind coming down to his house in Livermore, and with him at that time, Jeff Tamalier on guitar and Rocco, and jamming with him. I said, oh, man, absolutely. That'd be great. I'm excited. That was more exciting than even almost being with the whole band.
Cool.
And So I took my rig down in David's house, and we jammed, and I said, hey, can you come back tomorrow, man? Let's do this again. Okay, cool. So I come back the next day. We chopped it up. And so David goes and gets on the phone. I'm sitting in his dining room, and he got on the phone. I'm sitting there listening to him. He calls Emilio, and I'm quoting now, Jackie. He goes, Emilio, we have our organ player.
I love it. God bless, man.
The way it went down. That's the way it went down.
And speaking of Mr. Garibaldi, Mr. GG, how does it feel to have the boy back in the band for being absent? I mean, granted the fact that Herman Matthews, that's my boy, he's crazy, but it's David Garibaldi, man. I mean, he's the man, the patriarch of that funk, of that, of that lock with him and Rocco. Does it feel great to have him back and look over and see that tall, lanky boy playing again?
I give him a hard time, man, all the time. I'm always messing with him. David is like, he's like my brother from another mother, to be honest.
Dig it.
He and I have gotten extremely close over the years. And, we're kind of like kindred spirits in a way. I just love the guy, and I'm the guy in the band that's always stirring the pot, man. I'll cop to it. And if you tell anybody, I tell them I don't know what he's talking about. Jackie didn't know what he's talking about.
Let me tell you. I'm going to interrupt you here, brother, itself, because we're going to go back out of 4 into 5. It's blowing by, man. And keep that thought going, man, because I want to talk about time when I sat there and I tortured David by saying, what is hips? And I know, and he corrected me real hard. Everybody, Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove with my in-studio guest, Mr. Roger Smith from the funky band Tower of Power. My boys from the Bay Area. Don't go anywhere. Going on to segment number 5.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear. Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. Vin Village connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers connect.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
As the song says, what is hip? Let me tell you what hip is, my brother, my listeners. What is hip is the artist that I have on Jackie's Groove today, Mr. Roger Smith, the keyboard extraordinaire, the organ master for the funky group we just heard called Tower of Power. You guys, I stepped ahead of myself. This is Jackie Bertoni and Jackie's Groove. I said we're going into segment 5. My producer said, Jackie, wake up. You're getting ahead of yourself. You're having too much fun. This is segment 4. And so with that said, that song was from Montreux Jazz. And what you were listening to was my brother on lead vocals, Mr. Larry Braggs, who will be on the show here next month. And also, Roger, I neglected to say the Tower Power members in past and previous and future, I forgot to mention Mr. Ray Green, who's now fronting Santana. And speaking of amazing vocalists, now I'm going to tell you something. This is my personal opinion, but opinion shared by the band from what I've talked to your bandmates. Marcus Scott is fucking killing it. Excuse my French. But this boy, youngest cat I've seen in Tower for a long time, he has got a slice of everybody, for every vocalist that's gone through Tower. And,
yes, he does, sir.
Yeah, and you guys go on YouTube and check out when he first joined the band about 4 or 5 months ago to the way he is now. This boy owns the stage. And I cannot wait to see him live because it's, I mean, how do you walk in, let alone walk in after the years of Lenny Williams and Herbert Tubbs, and then you walk in, from even Ellis Hall, Larry Braggs, Ray Green. Now you got this new cat, Marcus Scott, that's killing it. What's your opinion on Marcus, man? I mean, be real about it. Are you digging his vibe?
Oh, man, it's just like you said. No, when Marcus came to audition, he auditioned in Vegas.
Right.
Some months ago.
South Point.
Man, I think there were 4 auditions that day, 3 to 4 different guys we were auditioning. He set the bar so high. He set up. He came in and sang with us and nailed 3 songs. I said, why are we even listening further? But we did. And Marcus was the guy.
Man,
no one even came close.
I mean, it's singing songs like he does. I mean, just when we start making it, one of my favorite tunes. The soul that this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's is either reaching 30 or at 30 right now, but he's ridiculous. I mean,
he's the cat, man. I think Marcus is going to have himself a nice career. Not only with Tower of Power, but whoever kind of looks his way. Because of this connection.
Yeah, man, and it's really trippy, Roger. It seems like the lead vocal door has reopened. I mean, here you got Larry Braggs, who was singing with Tower for, I believe, 14 years. And then when Larry walked out of Tower, Ray came in, and I thought for sure Ray would have been cemented for a while, but he made it through 2 years. And, and Ray's, I'm going to be real, Ray's reason why he left Tower Power wasn't anything else. He misses the band. In fact, Ray even came back for a short little stint on a bigger show because Mimi didn't think that Marcus was ready to handle the full show. And it was, and Ray said, Jackie, it was really, really tough to come back. I didn't want to leave, for being on stage with my boys, and the main reason, the only reason, because I got to tell you, I give you kudos, man, because as we're getting older, I'm 50. How old am I now? 56 years old. And the thing with that is that you guys spend a minimal of 200 days out of the year. How do you do this, brother?
We all take our Flintstones religiously.
Yeah, the vitamins have to be in overstrap, man, because, I look at this stuff, man, and I get worn out just from going and being in Tower Power's audience, and let alone you guys doing this.
It's a take a deep breath, watch what you eat. We're all grown men. We've all done it, been there, ate that, swallowed that, smoked that, and we get it. So how do we maintain? By not taking that, eating that, smoking that. You get rest now. It's a whole nother dynamic, and you do the best you can for your body, and especially with this job, man. We get on the bus. This coming up tour is going to be a little ass-numbing because we have a bunch of overnights. We have a bunch of, 7 to 11-hour drives after the show, and it wears after about 10 days. You get your butt kicked, but you learn to adapt. You learn, okay, how am I going to, am I going to sit up and watch television? No, I think I might need to go to sleep. Or, I'm not going to have a beer tonight for those who drink. I'm going to get some rest. You watch yourself. You pace yourself.
But what's really trippy about the whole situation, and I'm so proud for my brothers, because I never got involved with drugs.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to call weed drugs, I'll fight. It'll be a whole new story on Oprah. But the fact of the matter is, the band is clean.
Yeah.
The band is clean, and it's amazing. I look at pictures. I show Mimi and I get together and we chop it up, and I showed a picture of Mimi and myself backstage with Huey Lewis and the News when the horns were out, and Mimi probably weighed 130 pounds, 140 pounds, if that. And Mimi looked at it, and Mimi goes, Jackie goes, the beautiful cocaine diet.
Yep.
And I, we looked at it, and I've lost 200 pounds myself. And Mimi said, "Who would have thought that years later in our relationship that Mimi goes, I would have been the one that was fat, you'd be the one that was skinny." I said, "But brother, you are clean, and that's the main thing. You're here to talk about it, And I will forever be indebted to Emilio Castillo. His kids, I was friends. This was a situation where I was a young cat hanging out with the guy. And I'm jealous, I'm envious where you guys actually get a chance, to spend the time with this man on the road and to keep this ship moving called Tower of Power. 50 years coming up in a year and a half. God bless you guys. And from what Mimi told me, you guys have about 28 songs in the can already.
Yeah, we certainly do.
On this new album. It's like, and trust me, Mimi's been listening to the interviews, and I've been waiting to get Mimi in. Mimi says, Jackie, I promise you I'll do the show, because that's going to be a very emotional show for me. We just had an amazing interview last week, Roger. I had the pleasure and the honor of interviewing one of my idols, which is Mr. Al Jarreau. So when you get a chance, when you have a chance to breathe, or even on the road, go onto my site, Roger, and listen to this man, listen to this genius talk and how we chopped it up. Yeah, it was craziness, man. And when we get back on segment number 5, I want to talk about Miss Gladys Knight. I want to talk about the times where you were singing with this woman, playing keys on the midnight train to Georgia, and your show coming up here at the Hollywood Bowl. I want you to touch more on that and let me know how your feelings are. And then we're going to talk about a mutual friend of ours, Bobby G in Sacramento, and also the CEO of our corporation, Florentino Benaventura, another Sacramento boy. I was out of that loop. I was either Southern California, Northern California, and we're going to talk more about it. And everybody, we're going to also talk about something Mr. Roger Smith is involved with. Nothing better than fine wine on a vine. His beautiful new company called Bump City Wine, close to my heart. So when we get back, we'll talk about that little elongated break between 4 and 5. Guys, don't go in. Get yourself a drink. When we get back, we'll talk to Mr. Roger Smith about his upcoming shows and his new adventures. Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio. Don't go anywhere. Segment 5, right around the corner. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, Behind the Velvet Rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com.
Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, welcome back to Jackie's Groove. This is Jackie Bertoni on the Intertalk Radio Network. Everybody, it's going to sound a little bit different here because my system just went down. So you know what? It's going to take a lot more than that to keep me away from this interview with my in-studio guest, the ever-funky keyboardist from my favorite band loved by millions across the world, Tower Power, Mr. Roger Smith. Roger, welcome back. I hope you can hear me good, brother.
I got you.
Yeah, man, I'm not sure what's going on here, but you know what? We're going to make it happen, man. We're in segment number 5 with my in-studio guest, Mr. Roger Smith. Roger, we left off talking about your amazing career. So I want to jump into a woman that you worked with for years that you're going to be coming up with a oncoming date at the Hollywood Bowl with Tower Power and Gladys Knight. This woman is still in full voice. When's the last time you heard her live?
Oh, man, it's been decades. I think the last time probably live was when I shared the stage with her. We're talking 1980, 82, if maybe 79, 80, I think it was late 70s, early 80s.
Crazy.
A long time ago, and I've not been in touch with her. That's why I told the guys in the band, I said, she probably doesn't even remember me, man. I've not seen her for almost 40 years. Long time.
Now, when you were working with her, was it with Gladys Knight itself or and the Pips?
It was the Pips, brother. There was the 4 of them out front, and everywhere we went, there was an orchestra hired, and we were the headliners to the show. On this particular show, it was Frankie Beverly and Mays, LTD, George Duke, and that was it, and Gladys, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
It's crazy, man. You know, you think about the history that we've had and the people that you've shared the stage with and have been blessed over the years. You know what? And as I said with a lot of my interviewees, it's amazing and it's pretty cool exactly what we do for a living. You know, it's taken that passion. Yeah, it's taken that passion that we've shared with so many people. And getting up there to do what we want to do, and to top it all, to be paid for it. I mean, how crazy is that? You know, and I guess that's the thing to say called to be blessed to be gainfully employed, as they say. You know, and it's amazing. You know, and as I'm sitting here and I'm struggling here, I'm going back online right now. So my crew is behind me. It was actually not my system that went down, and these are the beautiful gremlins that we face. You know, nothing worse than being on stage. And I'm sure you've had, what's the word I want to use, the gremlins that have affected your life. And believe me, with live radio, there's nothing more enjoyable, and I say that with tongue-in-cheek, about how horrible it is to have to deal with the situation. So with that said, let me ask you a question, brother. Are you still associated with Strokeland Records, with Doc's label?
Oh, we do stuff off and on. The association we had, Doc was one of the retailers for my CDs.
I'm back.
I never really was. I wasn't ever signed to his label. He was a retailer for the CDs. His label or his outlet store was an outlet for some of my CDs. Did I lose you?
No, are you? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. If
you
can
perfect.
hear me, I can hear you. Okay.
We are back. Thank you, guys. So, all right. So we'll act like that never happened. All right.
Yeah,
so
that was that was just a glitch in time. Who knows what?
Hey, Roger, are you opening up for for Gladys, or is it vice versa?
No, we're opening for Gladys at the Hollywood Bowl. It's a short set, but it's going to be, for me, memorable. It's playing the Hollywood Bowl's always been a blast for us. We did Playboy Jazz with Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter. Awesome.
You know, it's crazy when you think about the situation of where Tower Power has taken you around the world. To see the different audiences, as I said before in many interviews, you know, as I ask all of my guests, out of all the times that you've played every song over and over and over again with the crowd, I know that if you guys don't end the show with "You're Still a Man" or if "What Is Hip" is not towards the second part of the encore, they lynch you. But is there a song that Roger Smith could really, I don't want to say this bad, but could really care less about playing?
Oh, man.
Tough question, but a fair question.
It's a fair question. I can't say that there's a song I care less about playing. Because, man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about what's on our set list that we do all the time that, that I start yawning. I never phone it in. But because I think once we hit the stage, Jackie, it's like a switch goes on. No matter how many hundreds of times, thousands of times I've played these songs, I look out at the crowd. If we have an energetic crowd, I could have played the most mundane, if there's a mundane Tower song, 100,000 times, but it becomes my giant steps, if you will.
Well, Lionel Richie, I think put it all on
Jackie, I didn't understand that question because it went Star Wars on me.
Hey,
Your voice went R2-D2.
Can you hear me, Roger?
I got you now.
No, this is Florentino, man. What's going on?
Oh, hey, Florentino, what happened?
Oh, just internet connectivity over. Sometimes it gets a little weird. Jackie remotes in, and we use the lovely technology of internet to bring him in through us. And
understood.
Yeah. So how's it going, man? This has been a great interview.
It's going good, man.
It's like
cool.
Some slight technical, variances.
Yeah, it was a trip. All of a sudden, he went. Sounded like R2-D2 and went bye-bye.
I know, right? He ended up plugging in one of those Peter Frampton talk boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's still trying to get logged in here, man. So, I'm going to bring up a story, brother, that I have fond memories. We worked a little bit in the studio. I don't know if you remember this, man, because you've done so many sessions. But you came in as a big favor, and I want to say thank you for this. To do we were doing a remake with my buddy Richard Aguila, who was a singer. He did some openings for Tower, for Tony, and for Dino and all that, that early dance stuff. And you did Let's Stay Together over at John Pond's studio. I don't even remember John's studio, but I don't know if you remember that, man. But that was a long while back.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the mid '90s, brother. It seems like yesterday. You look the same. You look the same. At least from the videos I've seen. Hopefully, we get a chance to run into you in person. But you've always been an inspiration to us in Sacramento, and talking with Bobby and how you've been a major influence with him, and it's been good, brother. Hopefully it feels good to be that cat that's leading the young folk, even though we're not quite so young anymore, right?
It's something, man. I'm here at home. When I get home in Sac, I try to get out to see people, but this day and age, I guess as club's a club.
Yeah.
And when we used to club a lot, couldn't wait till 10:30, 11 o'clock hit so we can hit the streets.
Yeah, right.
Now it's like 10:30. Shit, I'm laying across the bed, man.
I think Jackie's back.
Can you hear me, guys?
Gotcha, Jackie.
I think the internet's still getting a little weird, but we'll give it a shot here, brother. Take it back.
Stay
over.
with me.
Okay, I'm here with you, man.
So now where I left off because of our wonderful technology, I wanted to talk back about Gladys Knight. We talked about your gig coming up here at the Hollywood Bowl. Roger, what is the date on that?
August 3rd.
And are there tickets still available? It's a 19,000-seat arena, but I'm sure people need to get on that itself.
It's pretty much sold out, I think.
Everybody get online with that itself. You guys, forgive me for being the whitest guy on Soul Train here. I got to get my groove back, for the lack of a better word. Hey, guys, we're going to be trailing out of this segment. We're going to be going into the next one with my in-studio guest. And I swear to God, my friends, I'll try my best not to have the gremlins come back and haunt us. So much more to talk about with my in-studio guest, Mr. Roger Smith from Tower of Power. Roger, don't go anywhere. Do what you got to do, but we'll be back on the next segment to pick it up where we left off. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. Don't go anywhere. Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni. and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, Behind the Velvet Rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
That song is called Squib Cakes, one of the funkiest tunes by my dearest friends, my favorite band called Tower of Power. And the person behind that groove is my in-studio guest today, Mr. Roger Smith. Roger, welcome back, you funky man, you.
Oh, man, it's good to be back, and I'm glad we got you nice, loud, and clear.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. Hey, you know what? I want to tell you something. One of my favorite songs is a song called Down to the Nightclub.
Yeah.
And one of the lines as it fades out and going from the verse to the chorus is bump to bump to bump, bump city.
Uh-huh.
Now, here's my segue. Mr. Roger Smith, an amazing keyboard player, but this man has done something different. I don't want to call him a sommelier because my wife corrected me on that, or maybe I can. But let's talk about your new venture. Let's talk about something that makes everybody happy. Finer than, growing older and finer than fine wine. Let's talk about your new venture, Bump City Wine out of Sacramento. Let's talk about that. Just promote.
Okay. All right. Well, it's amazing you say Bumpy, but that's how I came up with the name of my wine company. I was thinking of something funky,
right,
classy, like a party. It invokes partying, and I'm thinking about the the following that we have with Tower Power, and that's how it came about. And so I decided, I went and talked to Emilio. I said, man, I'm going to go ahead and name my, music. I don't care. Go. So I did. And that's how I came up with the title Bump City.
Let's talk about the flavors. Are we talking about Pinot? Are we talking about Merlots or across the board?
Well, our flagship is Bump City Red, which is a Bordeaux. 58%
cool.
Cabernet Sauvignon, about 23, I believe. Zen, Merlot, Cap Franc. No Merlot in it, I'm sorry, Cap Franc. And about 10% Syrah. The other one we have is a Pinot Noir, 100% Pinot Noir, Sonoma Carneros. The other one we have is an Old Vine Zinfandel out of Lodi. That's where we sourced our grapes from that. Right. The other one is a Pinot Grigio, Sonoma again. And the other was a 100% Sonoma Carneros Chardonnay.
What
award-winning.
What got you into this, brother? What was your segue into this?
I've always loved wine. And my love of wine transcended to a good friend of mine, Randy Haight, who's a Bay Area boy, big cool. Tower Power fan. I invited him up to come up and taste some of the wine my partner, Mike, and I had been making up in the Sierra foothills, just for the fun of it. And he said, you need to have your own label. I said, you're out of your mind, dude. It's hard enough to play keyboards, let alone do something like that. He says, I got somebody I want you to meet. He takes me down to Sonoma, introduces me to Tom Larson, the owner of Larson Family Winery, and the purveyor of 2,500 acres of fruit right there in the premier Sonoma Carneros area. And he says, what do you want to do? I said, a couple of 100 cases. He said, that's it? He gave me the keys to the kingdom. So the entire production facility, the entire winery, his master winemaker to work with me and my partner so that we can create our own wines. Bottling facility, everything. We do everything right there. And that's a truncated version as to how Bump City got its feet.
God's blessings. My backyard, we live in Temecula. My home studio is in Temecula. So my backyard is the beautiful wineries. I think we're over 53 strong now. And and when this became available to me, I have a lot of associations with a lot of the restaurants in this area and a lot of the wineries. So with my help, if I can sit there and maybe get some of your wine down to some of these, because this is an eating city in Temecula and so on. And so if I can introduce Bump City wine to some of the owners of these restaurants, I'd be more than happy to do that. It'd be kind of a nice little vibe itself. And because people know my association with Tower Power, so this should be a no-brainer getting some of your product into some of the restaurants. So we'll talk about that offline. And, sure. and while we're online, let's talk about and tell the listeners where you can get and purchase Bump City wine.
Go to www.bumpcitywineco.com.
And that is co.com?
Yes.
Perfect, guys.
Bumpcitywineco.com.
You guys, I highly recommend you getting yourself a nice supply of this wine. Sit down, have a glass, and throw some Tower Power in. It couldn't get more of a happy marriage between the two. So.
Oh, and by the way,
yes.
Just to interject, in Northern California, the Northern Cal reps, because, I'm a NorCal boy,
right?
All 42 Whole Food stores are carrying Bump City.
Dig it.
In Northern Cal. That's Fresno North.
I think, I just think it's amazing because, in our crazy industry, we have to diversify, man. If, we got to be one step ahead of the game. That's exactly why the culmination of Jackie's Groove. I mean, I'm a well-known percussionist in the industry, a studio cat, but I got to tell you, when this came available to me of Jackie's Groove, it was a no-brainer. I'm having a blast. The best time of my old life of talking to my brothers like Roger Smith online right now. Hey, Roger, let me ask you a question, if I may. Out of all the accolades that you've received and that you've been blessed with, who was the coolest artist you've ever met to date?
Gladys Knight.
Without question.
Without question.
All right. Then let me go one step above that. Everybody's got a bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
Have you achieved everything yet? Who is an artist that you would love to play with? Not so much be a member of, but actually sit down on stage and play with.
Wow.
I know.
One person that's always, I've been on stage with him several times, but not sitting across.
Right.
That's Herbie Hancock.
Dig.
Just, and my good friend, there's a gentleman in the Bay Area that's already played with him, man. I'm so envious. But anyway, we won't go there.
It's okay.
But yeah, Herbie, just because I've always dug Herbie, man, that's a good question, Jackie.
Yeah, man, it's tough because when you sit down and you think about it, and it's like the old question: if you were, stranded on a desert island, and if I was to take your iPhone and I was to hijack it, or your audio library, what would I find in Roger Smith's rotation?
You'd probably find some Beethoven, probably.
Really?
Yes. It sounds crazy.
No, not at all.
When I ride, when I drive, and I'm not an educated classical listener, or I have no knowledge. I just love it. I can't play it, but when I drive, 99% of the time it's either NPR, talk radio, or classical.
Yeah, I want your next station to be is Jackie's Groove. So don't discount that, brother. It makes it drive.
Well, as soon as I can afford another car with that capability.
Let me tell you something, man. It's so funny that you said classical because Rhonda Smith from Jeff Beck's band and Prince's band, bass player, she listens to classical, and even Mr. Giroux. That's how he relaxes, by throwing classical on. And,
yes.
and you being the third one that mentioned it, it's kind of a cool dichotomy that the funksters that you are, and the R&B soul lovers that you guys have transitioned, or not so much transitioned, but you find that to be the music that calms the savage beast. It makes it easier for you.
It just zens me out, man. It just, I can relax totally. I listen to a lot of talk radio just to, try to stay on topic and get some different opinions on world events as well as cooking shows,
it's so funny you mentioned about cooking shows. I mean, one of my questions that we're going to pick up on the next one is because even though we are the connoisseurs of music, I want to talk about what Roger Smith likes to put in his stomach. And does he put it in before the show, after the show? What's his his favorite type of food? Because it's all about food, brother. Because when you're on that road, if it's not sleeping in a bunk doing 75 miles an hour down the highway in a Prevost bus, you got to talk about what it's like also, too. The before shows. Believe me, I've been to enough shows, so I know exactly what you guys have backstage. Trust me, I've made myself at home eating your food, so I hope you don't mind.
You were there in Temecula, brother.
Trust me when I tell you. And we're going to touch more on that because it's kind of cool. And I want to find out, now that we are old boys, let's talk about what we do to prepare ourselves, what you do to prepare yourself before you're ready to walk on stage and hit anywhere between a small half-hour set to a full 2.5-hour show. What gets you ready for the gig itself? And just kind of get more of a vibe, about what drives you for the show, what you do when you wake up to the morning to the time you walk on that stage. So when we get back on segment number, believe this or not, segment number 7 of a 2-hour interview, segments of 8 altogether, with my in-studio guest, the amazing and the overly friendly. I'm glad we got a chance to really sit down and talk. And when we get together next time live, we'll be able to have some more stuff in common. So don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to talk more to Roger Smith on the next 2 segments of 12 minutes. We're going to try to get another 10 years worth of history in there. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, on the Intertalk Radio Network with my in-studio guest, Mr. Roger Smith. Stay tuned.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
What a beautiful, beautiful song. I got to tell you, there's some serious smooth R&B going on there. And I want to find out the genesis of this song. We get back online in the studio with Mr. Roger Smith. Roger, talk to me about that song. Give me the genesis of that tune. I love it.
Well, the drummer of used to be with the Temptations. He's since gone on. We were doing some work together, and he came up with this, and I finagled getting the Otis's Temptations in the studio with me, and along with the great Dave Koz, and we wound up doing this tune. It's kind of like a Valentine song or a love song. The ballad is, it's for my wife, for our loved ones, or, that's what it's about. It's a love song.
Roger, was that you? Was that your voice?
When?
On that vocal. Who sang that song?
Oh, that's the Temptations, bro.
Oh, the current Temptations.
Not with Larry. It's
okay.
Otis is but prior to Larry. Larry was in our band at the time.
Right. We have to ask
the Temptations. Yeah.
We have to ask those questions, man. I mean, it's definitely a situation where it's different all the way around, in the way of Larry and kind of fronting that band right now itself. But that voice, that song was very, very slick. The musicianship on that was ridiculous.
Yeah, and, that was, like I said, that was Dave Koz, myself, and the rest of the tune is all programmed.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's clean, man. And talking about programming, let's talk about how we programmed ourselves in our older age itself, how to keep ourselves going strong before a gig. So let's wake up in the morning as Roger Smith. You get up, you do what you got to do, you get yourself acclimated and ready to rock and roll. You get on a bus, they take you to a venue. And of course, you guys are still one of the few bands that does a sound check to get that sound dialed in. So when you go on stage, before you go on stage, what do we find Roger Smith doing? Are you a person who finds himself meditating, getting into yourself? Are you a social person? Do you welcome guests before the show, or do you prefer to keep them going after the show? Share with us.
Well, I'm pretty much. I'm not a social butterfly, but I socialize a bit.
Right.
It depends on the situation, Jackie. To be honest, if we've just done an overnighter and we didn't, let's say, like we overnighted from one city to the next, and it took us 10 to 12 hours to get there. Yeah. By the time we get to the hotel, you get out of the bus, you're shot. You get to the room, your bag explodes. You get in the shower, then you repack the bag because you have to do it all over again. Then you go to sound check. You're kind of not wanting to be too social. It takes, for me personally, it takes all of my energy to get geared up to entertain or to be the best I can be on stage. So, no, I'm not too much of a social butterfly. I'll seek out the local Starbucks or the local barrister, so that I can kind of get fired up and, get ready to do the show that night. Because probably we have to get right back on a bus and do another 5 to 10 hour ride again.
Right.
So that can kind of wear on you. Now, that's how I kind of acclimate prior to a show under those circumstances. Now, circumstances where we don't have that ass-numbing ride, before the show, the gig. Oh, no, I usually always reach out to fans that I know in a particular city that may be on the guest list. I say, where are you guys? Why don't we meet over here for a cup of coffee? Let's talk. How's the family? I have more energy and I really want to do that because it's fun to connect with your friends and your fans, man. You want to keep them, I want them happy.
Without question, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you this question. It's if we can't time travel and we can't morph ourselves by snapping our fingers and showing up in a gig. I know you live to play music, but what do you feel about traveling? Is traveling still enjoyable for you, if it ever was at all?
It was. Now, no.
Verbatim to everybody. I've asked that question to everybody. Yes, it's like I was hanging out with my good friend of mine, Michael McDonald, and Michael said to me, man, he goes, you know what? I would give anything right now. We were hanging out in Newport Beach. Michael said, I'd give anything right now just to sit back in the hotel room and you and I shoot the shit for the rest of the day. He goes, I love playing. I hate traveling. He goes, as we get older,
man, I'm telling you, I'm sorry to cut you off, brother.
No, please.
It's a situation, and I think just about every musician that has anything over 30 years under their belt in doing this will pretty much say the same thing. Flying used to be the highlight of my thing. Oh, I couldn't wait to get to the airport. Go on a plane. Yeah, I'm flying to this gig. Now I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, you dig?
Somebody give me that little pink pill so I don't have to think about it. You know
what's so funny, though, when talking, I'm going to jump on here, too, it's, talking to most of the guys that are, again, have 30 years under their belt, we were talking about things like, the difference between being at home. There's no place like home, sounding like Dorothy, of course. But the fact of the matter is, there's a difference, though, because a lot of people look like when they're on the road, it's kind of like a little vacation away from the house. And the way they explained it, and I can agree with this, is that when you are at home, you're not Roger Smith, the keyboard player from Tower of Power. You're Roger Smith daddy. You're Roger Smith grandpa. You're Roger Smith husband. And, my wife, and I'm assuming the same thing with your better half. I said better half. The fact is that they know who we are, but you know what? They don't give a shit because the bottom line is there's a honey-do list to be taken care of. So, when you're at home, you got responsibilities like the home, like the lawn, this, that, and the other. But when you're on the road, you're away from that. You have people catering to almost every one of your needs. Is that true in your case? I mean, it's coming home with nothing better than, but it's getting reacclimated to Roger Smith, the human being, not the famous musician. Well,
I guess I've never thought of myself as being famous. Maybe looked upon as a musician in a famous band.
Right.
But like myself, no. I consider myself a blessed human being.
Every day.
Anybody that comes up with those kind of accolades to me is overwhelming.
Right.
Well, thank you, but wow.
But
I'm
think
just
about
that guy who lives right down Swanson Drive,
Yeah, well, I say the same thing. I'm a hired grunt. People say to me all the time, they go, "Man, you have such a great attitude." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that, but what do you mean?" They said, "Well, man, the platinum album's on your wall and your bio." I say, "Guys, understand something, man. I'm a hired grunt. I'm a musician." And the fact of the matter is, the guys that I work with, they're the famous people. They're the worldwide renowned players out there. And if they don't have an attitude, why in God's name would I have an attitude? It wasn't always that way. Because when I was young, when I was 19 years old, and I was here on the stage of Tower of Power, I thought my shit didn't stink. But guess what? It did. And Mimi taught me something years ago. He said, the less people you talk about or talk to you about what you do, the less hassles you're going to have to deal with.
That's true.
And it's true. And it's another thing, too. I'm sitting down with Mimi last time at Thornton Winery. He and I are chopping it up. We're being, big brother, little brother. He's 10 years my senior. And I looked at Mimi and I said, Mimi, what I don't understand, and this is the very weird thing for me. When I'm around you, even at the age of 56 years old, I still look at Emilio Castillo and I'm still 19 years old. And it's the weirdest thing, Roger. I still don't see myself as an old guy. When I'm around Mimi, I'm a 19-year-old kid again. And it's weird. In fact, in my studio, in a shadow box behind me, is the original tour jacket that I got from Emilio. That's in a shadow box with one of the pictures of my original pictures of me on stage with him, and a backstage pass at the Golden Bear that says VIP on it. And that sits. It's got the black satin with the Tower Power classic East Bay grease kind of a vibe. I'll send you a picture of it when we get offline. And that will forever be emblazoned. And the weird thing about this with the Tower of Power stigma, when you come out of the School of Tower of Power, a lot of people are apprehensive to hire you just because the fact they don't feel that they're on par with your playing when you come out of that vibe of Tower of Power. And I want to find out more about that when we get back to the next set to see exactly if you face that, the adulation from people of not being or being afraid to ask you to play since you've come from that, from the School of TOP. I'm real curious about that, and a lot of people are the listeners that way also. So when we get back on the last segment, 2 hours out of a lifetime of Roger Smith, I'm going to bring Florentino on because he's going to chop it up with you, some of your Sacramento boys, and then he's going to ask you to promote yourself heavily. We talked about Bump City Wine, but now we're going to talk about how the listeners can stock Roger Smith. And I mean, not S-T-O-C-K, but S-T-A-L-K. So with that said, put your thinking cap on. We'll be right back on segment number 8. This is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, brought to you by the ever-powerful EnterTalk Radio Network, your music industry insider. You guys don't go anywhere. One more segment, Roger Smith, Tower Power, bump to bump to bump. Don't go anywhere.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
We Came to Play by the ever-famous The Funksters, the Bay Area boys called Tower of Power. Hey, everybody, this is Jackie Bertoni. You're tuned into Jackie's Groove, the Intertalk Radio Network. You guys do yourselves a favor, man, and when you have a chance, wait till I'm off the air. Go to www.intertalkradio.com, and I want you to peruse the plethora of shows that we offer. Shows for girls in rock and for gearheads and my dear buddy of mine, J.R. Robinson, most recorded drummer in the history of music. He's got his own show right after mine called The Vinyl Night, which he's going to be debuting Mr. Jerry Hay, trumpeter, arranger, etc., etc. So stick around. Don't go anywhere after my show and check it in. But let's talk about who I got on my line right now. I got to tell you, this guy We've talked more today in 2 hours than we've talked in the years we've known each other and passed by each other. And I got to tell you, Roger, I dig your vibe, brother. I love the fact that you're a real person, man. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. The Bertoni family thanks you. The Intertalk Radio family thanks you. And we're going to give a chance for you to thank the people that take care of Roger. Roger, welcome back, brother.
Thank you, and I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Oh, man, again, it's because of people like you that make our ratings go through the roof. And the person who drives this big ship called Intertalk Radio, believe it or not, a bass player, also a Sacramento boy that's done good. So with that said, I want to bring on your friend, longer than my friend, Mr. Florentino Buenaventura. Florentino, say hi to your boy, and boy, say hi back to Florentino, Roger.
Long time no talk, Roger.
Hey, that's right, brother. It seems like, a couple of eons ago, as they say in Star Wars.
Yeah. 30 minutes ago, and then from there, years ago, man.
Light years.
Yeah, just like I was saying in that little break, man, we just appreciated you, man. You were that cat that were like, Roger's out there doing it, man. He's making it happen. We got hope. Somebody from Sacramento can actually make it, because Sacramento at that time was considered a cow town. There was nothing going on but the rent.
Yeah, pretty much right, man. It's like everybody abandoned. Like if someone had something going on here, they split.
Yeah.
Took off. A lot of them never came back or never really admitted this was home.
Yeah. But we had a lot of guys came out of there during that little era, our little kind of group. I mean, you were actually, like I said, you'd been doing it a little bit longer than a few of us, but not much. I mean, we're all about this close to the same age. But Bobby G, we talked about. You mentored him, having knew his father and Derek DOA Allen, and of course Jay King and all that crew from the Club Nouveau world. And it's just amazing what came out of that time frame. And I know I'm forgetting folk. You got Joe Archie and all those cats there, and Cedric from from the hip hop side of things. So it's just all came out of that era. So I'm really proud to be part of all that fun stuff. And
it was a good time. Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to be Jay King's musical director for a couple of years as well with Club Nouveau.
Yeah, I remember that, man. That's when we were hanging out. That's right before I moved to San Diego when I didn't look back.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
I still have love for Sacramento. I still got some folks over there and stuff like that. And I was mentioning that in that little break that Richard Aguila, the kid that you were kind of helping me with, he's actually gone on. He's under Michael O'Neill's label over with George Benson, and now with
George Benson. Yeah.
He's actually going on tour. He's going on tour with Barbra Streisand. So I think he's got his first rehearsals today, so that's good.
Actually, today is the first rehearsal.
Yeah. So
that's awesome, man. I'm so proud of a lot of these kids that have come out of here. They're, it's like Sacramento's a giant closet.
Yeah,
and
right.
You open the door and the moths come flying out. You just never know, man.
Yeah, we all came out the closet. I'm just joking.
Yeah, so to speak.
In fact, right now, Roger, I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in here. I just got a text from Mr. John Paris is listening in today right now. So John sends his love to you, Roger.
That's my guy. That's John. That's one of my boys, man. Him, Eddie M, Bobby G. Oh, good gracious alive, man. Derek Allen, they were all together. Oh, man.
Yeah, all the family from over there, man. I miss you all, man. I got to make it back there sometime soon. And speaking of that, how can people find out about Roger? How can they find out about the winery? How can they find out about your website stuff? All that fun stuff, social media.
Okay. Let me do some shameless promotion here. You guys mind?
Do it, baby.
Okay. Well, first of all, my website, www.rogersmith.net. That's simple. That pretty much ties it all in. My wine company, which is Bump City Wine Company, the website is www.bumpcitywineco.com. bumpcitywineco.com. All of our wines are located in all the Northern California Whole Food stores, all 42, from Fresno north. Sorry, Southern Cal, but we'll catch you on the second round.
There you go.
Paul's all sad because he's our wine connoisseur over here. Paul's the guy who's been pushing the board buttons and making things happen. He's the
What's
guy.
up, Paul?
What up? I want to check out your wine if I make it up to NorCal.
Come on, man.
For sure.
Dude, you got to do it. We're going to be at Humphrey's coming up here shortly.
Yeah, my favorite venue, brother, all-time, Shelter Island.
Yeah, and I want to say it's September, but I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm looking at our little calendar here, so I hope I don't hold you guys up.
Oh, take your time, brother.
Looking through it. Let's see.
My show, your episode, baby.
That's all right. Paul's got
Where
the
are
board.
you,
He'll make
Humphreys?
sure it keeps going.
Let's see, Lewiston, Seattle, Dale. Maybe it's August.
But you know what, though, you guys, we'll always put that up, too. We'll fill you into what's happening with Roger and the TOP boys itself. You can also go to, of course, towerpower.com. And that's going to give you that'll give you everything that you need to know about Tower Power, but was afraid to ask. And Tino, stay with me. But I want to ask you a question. Roger and I always say this. We're very, very fortunate to be gainfully employed and to work our asses off growing up and saving those ducats to get the equipment. But once we've finally made it in our lives musically, it seems like that rig comes to us because people want to use our face, our likeness, our names to promote their products. So with that said, who are you endorsing right now, or better yet, who's endorsing Roger Smith on stage?
Hammond, of course. I work with Rapco International, which is a cable company that takes care of all of my wiring in studio. The difficulty, when you put together a studio, you might have this particular end that needs to go to that end, but it has to be wired properly. Well, these people manufacture for me whatever I need at a moment's notice. They're the best. Let's see, who else takes care of me? Those two in particular, Yamaha, of course. I have a new MOX-8 here. I did a couple of clinics for them, so I have their keyboards that I use exclusively. And that's pretty much it.
And so with that said,
I'll take that
go
back.
ahead.
I'll take that back. Audio-Technica microphones. How can I forget them?
There you go. And as I had said, Roger Smith, you've said it all. You've probably said enough. But what I want everybody to do, man, is I want you to go on. I want you to patronize this artist. I want you to go out. My favorite 3 words: don't steal music, people. Go out and pay for it. We're not doing this for our health. And go on to YouTube. Go on to iTunes and anywhere music is sold. Check out Roger Smith. Check out his music, not just with Tower Power, but his other accolades that he shared with us today. So with that said, Roger, Intertalk Radio family thanks you from the bottom of our heart for gracing our stage with your funkiness. And we will definitely be seeing you as a whole, as the band. We wish you safe travels, Godspeed in your endeavors. May everybody get a nice buzz going on with Bump City Wine. And most important, like you said again, man, you ought to be having fun. And that's Tower Power's motto for all these years. So, Roger, thank you, brother. Godspeed. God bless. And we will talk to you when we talk to you, man. So, everybody stay tuned with Jerry Hay on the Vinyl Night with J.R. Robinson. This is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove. Say goodbye to Mr. Roger Smith. Roger, blessings, brother. We love you.
Thank you guys so much. Everybody take it easy, Florentino. See you at Humphrey.
Yes.
God bless, brothers.
Peace. Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. live 2 p.m. Mondays, and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at which.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Which.com.